May I audible? May I audible? May I audible? May I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yesterday, I have started the unit number 1, fundamentals. Our subject name is the distributed system. Okay. Before that, today is the last date for GATE 2022 registration. All of you do it today itself. Okay, today is the last date for GATE registration. Okay, yesterday we have completed the fundamental of operating system. What is the hardware? What is the operating system? What is the application? What is the exact use of the user? Means operating system is the intermediator between hardware and user. Next, these are the functions of operating system. Why operating system is required? Is the file management, device management. Okay, sometime this operating system provides security with the help of firewall. Next, what is the distributed system? Already yesterday I was explaining what is the difference between centralized system and distributed system. Okay, the main example of the distributed system is the internet. Right now, where is in the internet? This is the main example of the distributed system. Next, yesterday I was explaining the tightly coupled system and loosely coupled system. Next, today I will teach the next point of this first unit is evaluation of distributed system. Okay, why distributed system is required? In 1945 to 1985, the computer were large and expensive. Already you know the supercomputer. Okay, at that time the computer was the large. For example, in the single room, one CPU was there at that time. Okay, no way to connect them. Only one single computer was there. Okay, all system were centralized system. Okay, in 1945 to 1985, all system means will connect the, for example, 4 computer to the single server. Means all system were connected to the centralized system. In mid 1980s, the powerful microprocessor was there. At that time, in 1980s, the high-speed computer network, the LAN and WAN, was introduced. Then came the distributed system. Why distributed system will came? Because of the main problem of the centralized system was, okay, if the center server will fail, then whole system will slow down, means whole system will collapse. This is the main drawback. Overcome this drawback, will came to the distributed system. In distributed system, in the back end, we have the n number of servers. Right now I am the client machine, I am the client user. Okay, right now I am the client user. I directly contact to the server, but in my end I was think only one server was there, or at the server end only one server will be there, but in the server end they have the n number of servers are available. If particular server will fail, then automatically second server will give the reply to the client machine. Client machine is me. Okay, this is the main advantages of the distributed system. And what is the drawback of central system? If central server will fail, then whole system will be slowed down. Okay, Next is the why distributed system. Okay, because of there is the availability of powerful 8-chip microprocessor, personal computer workstations. Okay, workstation means personal computer. Okay, okay. Why this distributed system will be this? Because this is available of the powerful cheap microprocessor available. Continue advances in communication technology. Okay, day by day we will improve this distributed system. Okay, in worldwide we can use this distributed system. Okay, we see the advantages of distributed system over centralized system. The first advantage is economics. In economics, the collection of microprocessor offer a better price performance ratio than mainframe. Okay, in the centralized system, we have only a server. The server name is the mainframe. Okay, okay, we'll collect the collection of the microprocessor offer a better price performance ratio than mainframe. Okay, in central system we can use only one server. Okay, this server name is the mainframe server. Rather than in distributed system, we will take the n number of microprocessor server. Okay, means every server have the microprocessor, and every server will update the client database or update the client data set. Okay, if the particular server will fail, then automatically the second server will give the response to the client machine. But what is the problem of the mainframe server? If the server is failed, then nobody can give the reply to the client machine. That's why economics. Next, reliability. If one machine crashes, the system as a whole can survive. Okay, higher availability and improved reliability. Okay, in the distributed system, they will provide the reliable service. But in centralized system, what is the problem of the reliability? If the server is fail, then whole system will survive this failure, because nobody can give the message from the server machine if server will fail. But what is the benefit of the distributed system? If one server will fail, the second server will give the reply to the client machine. Means here we will provide the reliability. Next is the speed. It gives enhanced performance through load distributing. Okay, for example, in centralized system, one server is there. The server capacity is the 100 computer machine they can handle at a time. Means this server can handle the 100 requests at a time. Okay, I will give the example of this speed. Okay, first we'll take the example of the decentralized system. In centralized system, I have one server, and around this server I have the 100 computer machine. Okay, at a time this server will take 100 requests and they will give the 100 responses to the client machine. With the server capacity is the 100 request capacity. Means at a time the server, okay, take 100 requests, process it and give the reply to the client machine. But if the request will be increased, okay, the client machine can send the 1000 requests, then what will do? Our centralized server capacity is the 100 requests, but in the client side they will send the 1000 requests. Then at the server end they cannot handle all 1000 requests, because the server capacity is the 100. The server capacity is the 100 requests. They cannot handle this all 1000 requests. Then what will happen? Sometime the request will be discarded. Sometime the request is waiting in the queue, or on the server machine will be hang because they cannot handle this 1000 computer machine. there are n number of problem will be occurred in the centralized system. Then overcome this problem, okay, in the distributed system, okay, the single server will handle the only 1,000 requests. Then the remaining requests, they will distribute it to the remaining servers. Means in distributed system have the facility, they can distribute the load to the remaining server. Means here it gives enhanced performance through load distributing. Meaning in distributed system, the particular server, they can distribute this load to the n number of servers. But what happened in the centralized system? There is no load distributing facilities available in the centralized system, because in central side only one server is there. Okay, this is the main drawback of this centralized system. What is the advantages of the distributed system? In distributed system, this particular server will distribute this load to the n number of servers, and at a time, okay, all 100 requests will take, process it, and give the reply to the particular client machines. Next is the incremental growth. Computing power can be added in small increments. This lead to modular expandability. Means here in distributed system we can expand the number of computer machine in overall world. Okay, we can increase. For example, in our college have the, for example, 1,000 computer machine. Okay, we'll increase the 2,000, 3,000, because not only single server will handle this all this computer machine. We have the n number of servers in the distributed system. Means in distributed system there is no issue. You can increase the n number of computer machine, connect to the server. There is no issue. But what about the centralized system? Have the limitation. If server capacity is the 100 requests, then in centralized system they only access the 100. They are process the 100 request only. But in distributed system, we can increase the number of computer machine. There is no issue, because at the server end, they have the n number of servers. Next is the data sharing. Allow many users to access a common database. Okay. In the company person, okay, you know the environment of company. Okay. Right now you are giving some a test or interview for particular company. Okay, in company also the data sharing is available. Okay, in the main server have the database. If you are the employee, you are entering in the company. Okay, you have the username and password, and you access the database. And at the end of the day, okay, you log out this and left this company. But in your mail ID or anywhere, there is no database. All database is available on the server only. All database is available server only. No client machine have the data. Means in distributed system, they allow the users to access the common database. Means for example, the 4 persons are working on the same model. Okay, in the company, okay, the project is going on. Okay, this project have the n number of modules. In the first module, the 4 developers are working on the same module. Okay, all 4 developers, they can share the data with each other. Why this server machine? All 4 users or 4 employees, they can working on the same module. Then all database is available on the server. If I am the first person, okay, I am access the database who second person was updated yesterday, or my third person are working on this database, my fourth person are working on this particular database. I am also accessing the database, because all 4 person they are working on the same module, and all 4 person database is available on the same server. Means here will allow the sharing the database with each other with security. Important is the security. Next is the resource sharing. Resource means hardware. In distributed system also we can share the resource. For example, I will take example. We are sitting all. For example, in the project lab, we are sitting the 20 student, and the first computer machine have the printer. Then we have the facility, sharing facility. The 20 number person also take the printout through the same printer, or first number computer machine also take this printout on the same printer. Means here we share the resource. This facility is available in the distributed system. Allow sharing of expensive peripherals like color printer, etc. Next is the communication. Enhance human to human communication. For example, email, chat. Okay, right now we are using the Google Meet. This is also communication part. Okay, this is the advantages of the distributed system. Next is the flexibility. Spread the workload over the available machine. Okay, this distributed system is the flexible. If I'm the distributed server, I have loaded, then automatically I will distribute this load to the another server. Means distributed system is the flexible. Anytime, okay, if I have loaded server, then I will distribute my work to the another server. I will distribute this load to the another 5 servers also, because in server n we have the n number of servers. Means here distributed system is the flexible. Means these are the advantages of distributed system over centralized system. Okay, economics, reliability, speed, incremental growth, data sharing, resource sharing, communication, and last is flexibility. These are the advantages. Any question related to distributed system? What is the exact difference between centralized and distributed system? Any question? Please raise the question. If in your mind have any question related to this distributed system, why distributed system is required? If you have any question, please raise the question. I will explain once again. No doubt about it. All of you understood? If you have any question, please. Okay, next important part of this distributed system is the distributed computing system models. First is the mini computer model. See, in this diagram, this is the communication network, means our network, our switches are available in the communication network. These are the mini computer, and these are the terminal. Okay, terminal act like user or some computers. Here, terminal act like user. For example, you see the user number 1, 2, 3. These 3 users are using this mini computer. For example, this user, mini computer user, want to send the data to the another mini computer user via communication network. Via communication network. Means this mini computer, this is the like small server. Okay, on this server, these 3 users, they can access this server. If this first mini computer, this first user want to communicate to the second mini computer user, okay, then they can send the data via this communication network. Communication network means your internet. Sometimes our communication network means our switches. This mini computer connect to the first switch, this switch to the another switch to router, router to another router, another router to the switch. These are the communication network. Okay, means in the mini computer model, tell us any user want to communicate to the another users are available on the another mini computer, then This is also available. This facility is available in the distributed system. Okay, this first user, they can send the data via this mini computer to the another mini computer via communication network. This is the first model, mini computer model. Second is workstation model. Okay, workstation means our personal computer. It's simple. Workstation means personal computer. Every lab have the computer. The another name of this computer is the workstation. Another name of this computer is the personal computer. Okay. In the workstation model, every computer want to communicate with another computer via this communication network. Okay. Here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are total 8 workstations are connected to the communication network. For example, we take the example of any single lab. In the lab have the 8 computers. They will connected with each other with help of switch, because all 8 computers, they are connected to the switch. We'll take the example of project lab. In project lab have the 20 computer machines. All 20 computer machines are connected to the switch. Through switch, the first computer machine want to send the data to the 20 number computer machine via this switch, because switch is the communication network. Switch is the communication network. With help of this communication network, the first number computer machine will send the data to the 20 number computer machine. This is the workstation model. Next is the workstation server model. Next is the workstation server model. See here, these are the workstation. Workstation means your personal computer. Okay, and see in the below side in the diagram, mini computer used as file system server, mini computer used as database server, mini computer used as print server. These servers are available. Okay, and all servers are connected to the switch, or all servers are connected to the network. Okay, see here, this first workstation model want to access the data from the database server. Then they send the request to the mini computer used as database server via this communication network. Via this communication network. For example, if I am sitting in the project lab. Okay, I am sitting in the project lab. I want to access the our college email ID, but our college email ID database is available in the another server. Okay, then I'll send the request. I will type the sweri.ac.in. In my URL, I will type sweri. I will take the example. You skip this college. I want to access the Google. In URL, I will type the google.com. I am sitting in project lab. The Google server is available in the another place. Another place means the Google server is available in the Pune, Mumbai, or some USA. Okay, I don't know. I know only I want to access the Google page. Then I will type the google.com in my URL. Then this request sent to the Google server. Okay, this is the workstation. In my computer, I have typed google.com. This request sent to the Google server via this communication network. Okay, if Google server is available in the Pune or any Pune or Mumbai, then they take this request and give the reply to the me. I am sitting in the project lab in the Sweri. Okay, this Google server give the reply to the my computer machine and display this Google page on my desktop. Okay, means here the workstation server model means this is the communication between client and server. This is the communication between client and server. Got it? This is the communication between client and server. Means at the server end, we have the n number of server: file server, database server, print server. Okay, there are n number of servers are available in the another end. Okay, this is the end-to-end communication. This is the client-server communication, means end-to-end communication. Client is available in the one end, server is available in the another end. This is the end-to-end communication. This is the workstation server model. Next is the processor pool model. What is the pool? Pool means collection of processors. Collection of processor. You know, i3, i5, i7, these are the processor. Why processor is required? What is the difference between i3 and i5? What is the difference between i5 to i7? Because you have the higher configuration processor, then your system speed will be high. Got it? Why processor is required? Because of the speed. Okay. If you want to install the big software, at that time you require the latest processor, i7, because this i7 speed is more than i3. Okay, same thing here. Pool of processor means this is a collection of processors. See here, another end we have the servers: run server, file server, database server. Okay, all servers have the processor. All servers have the processor. And in the client end, we have the computer machine. This is the computer machine. See here. Terminal act like user or computer machine. Okay. If right now I am sitting in the one computer machine, I want to run the big program, or I want to install the big software in my computer machine, client computer machine. But I will require the high configuration processor, because right now in my computer machine have the i3 processor. Okay, but this i3 processor cannot handle this big software. Then I will need the high configuration processor, i7, or I will need the 2 i7 processor. Then what will do? I will repeat once again. I am the client machine. I am accessing the client machine. In my client machine, I want to install the big software. But right now in my computer machine have i3 processor. This software require the i7 processor, latest processor. Then I have option, I will update my computer machine. Otherwise, for the particular time, I will borrow, means I will take this processor from the another place through this communication network. Same thing. Okay. Here at the server end, every server have the processor. Sometime this run server have the idle server. The processor is the idle. At that time, we'll take this processor power. In the file server is the idle. Right now, idle means, okay, there is no request, no response. Okay, those server have the idle server. Okay, will take all processor power. Okay, and will provide this processor power to the particular client machine. Who need processor power for this particular client machine will provide this power. This is a pool of processor. Those server machine have idle. Those servers have idle. From this server will take this processor power and provide this processor power to the client machine, because client machine need this power. This is called as processor pool model. Okay, right now you heard about this cloud computing. It's also same thing. Okay, I have store my data on the cloud server because in my computer machine have the less hard disk space. My hard disk space is less. Then what will do? I will store my data on my cloud, or I will store my data on the Google Drive through this communication network. Same thing, if in my client machine need some processor power, why I will need? Because I want to install the big software. Then what will do? Okay, in the server end, if many servers are idle at that time, we collect the all processor power and provide this processor power to the client machine. This is called as processor pool model. Next is the hybrid model. To combine the advantages of both the workstation server and processor pool model, a hybrid model may be used to build a distributed computing system. Okay, hybrid model means you can combine the workstation server and processor pool model. There are total 5 models. First model is the mini computer model. Second is workstation model. Third is workstation server model. Here client server communication will happen. In the second model, workstation model, here only client to client communication will happen with the help of communication network. Workstation server model means here client to server communication will happen. Processor pool model, here also client server communication will happen, but here the client machine needs some processing power. At that time, server will provide this processing power. And hybrid model means this is the combination of workstation server and processor pool model. Any doubt about this distributed computing system model? We have total 5 models: mini computer model, workstation model, workstation server model, processor pool model, and hybrid model. Next point is distributed computing gaining popularity. Why distributed system is more popular? See, first is inherently distributed application. We have the n number application. They can inherently they get connected with each other. Information sharing among distributed users. Information sharing among distributed users. Already we saw the allow the sharing the information. We send the mail from one user to another user. Resource sharing. Resource means hardware. We share the printer, color printer. Better price performance ratio. Okay, in the centralized system, we'll purchase only one server. This is a mainframe server. Okay, rather than we can purchase a number of computer machine, we have the processor. Next is the shorter response time and higher throughput. See, in distributed system have the n number of servers. That's why I will send the 1000 requests. Fraction of second I will got the reply from the server, because in the server end have the n number of servers. But what will happen in the centralized system? Centralized system have only one server. That's why they will give the reply lately. Sometime we doesn't got the reply, because all requests are available in the queue. Sometime your request will be discarded, your request will be corrupted because of the network traffic in the centralized system. Overcome this problem in distributed system, we can use the n number of servers. That's why the response time is less. Next is the higher reliability. Okay, if particular server will fail, the another server will give the reply to the client machine. Next, already we saw the extensivity and incremental growth. We can increase the number of computer machine in our network, means our network will be expand in the distributed system, but in centralized system have the limitation. Better flexibility in meeting users need. Okay, in distributed system we can easily flexible. System is flexible means if particular server will fail, automatically the second server will give the reply. These are the why distributed system will popular in day by day. These are the main gaining advantages. Next is the issues in designing distributed system. Okay, before that, in the chat box, all of you type your division dash roll number for your attendance. Okay, in the chat box, all of you type your division, for example, A dash 01 roll number for your attendance. B dot 01. Okay. In the chat box, all of you type your division dash roll number. In the chat box, all of you type your division dash roll number for your attendance. Okay, for your attendance, all of you type your division dash roll number for your attendance. Those are remaining, please. All of you type your division dash roll number for your attendance. And today is the last date for gate registration. Okay, those who are remaining, please do fast. Today is the last date for gate registration. Okay, today we have completed the evaluation of distributed system. Next, why distributed system is required? Advantages of distributed system over centralized system. These are the advantages. Next, today we have completed main parties. Distributed competing system models. They have the 5 models: mini computer model, workstation model, workstation server model, processor pool model, and hybrid model. Also, we have completed why distributed system is more popular than centralized system. They have the n number of advantages. Okay, we saw this all advantages. Next point is issues in designing distributed system. Issues in designing distributed system. They have the n number of issues: transparency, second is reliability, next is flexibility, performance, scalability, heterogeneity, security, elimination of the existing operating system. These are the issues. Okay, means here at the time of designing the distributed system, for example, at the time of designing our college network, or at the time of designing any single lab, or at the time of design, for example, the particular person is the owner of the company. He want to design, okay, in the company they want to design the 100 machines. Okay, at the time of designing this 100 machine in the company have the 4 or 5 rooms. Then what issue will be happen in front of us at the time of designing? Okay, these are the issues. Okay, first is transparency. Okay, first is in the transparency, the issue is the access transparency. Means what is the access transparency? Before that, what is the transparency? Transparency means the owner, company owner know these is the computer machines are available. This is a transparent computer machines. Transparent machine means we cannot see the data because all data is available on the server. Okay, but the first client machine, they want to access the data. This data is available on the second client machine. Okay, this transparency will be happen because this first computer machine and second computer machine, this both computer machines are working on the same model. Then they can easily access the database. Means here we require the access transparency. And second is the location transparency. Okay, location transparency means first is the name transparency and user mobility. User mobility means for example we can call mobility means movable. Okay, your laptop is the mobility means here, and the name transparency means okay, if right now my server name is the file server, if suddenly I want to change my name of my server, then here the access will be available. Okay, here access will be available. I will change this file name server to the XYZ server. I remain this file name server to the XYZ server. Here transparency will be there. Otherwise, nobody can change this name. There is the what is the use of this file server? Means in distributed system, at the time of designing the system, you think about, okay, the authorized person will change the server name. Authorized person will change the computer name. Okay, this is called as name transparency. And user mobility means, okay, this person can be access the data from anywhere. Okay, this is called a transparency. Access transparency and location transparency. In location transparency have the two part: name transparency and user mobility. Okay, the remaining part we see in the next lecture. Okay, before that, those who are remaining, please type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Those who are remaining, please type your division dash roll number in the chat box for your attendance. Okay. Then remaining part we'll see in the next lecture. Here I will stop here. We'll stop here. Thank you.